Welcome back, everybody, to Clicks and Bricks. My name is Ken. Today is August 23rd. Make sure you stick around to the end of the day's episode because I've got a really good tip for your social media growth if you're looking to grow your social media. And really, it's a good tip for business in general. So before we get started, though, today's episode is brought to you by Nlink.com. My Nlink.com account is nlink.com/Ken. Rapport made easy. If you go to Nlink.com and you sign up for an account, it's absolutely free, and you have one URL to give out to everybody you know, and all your social media that links back all your social media profiles in one place. So you don't have to give everybody, oh, this is my Instagram, this is my TikTok, or follow me here, follow me there. You can just give them Nlink, and then they got all of your social media profiles. It's a really great tool. If you want to join my text line community, 314-370-2871. I'll never try to sell you anything, but I will send tips and tricks on a somewhat regular basis. I'm not really spammy. You might get 1 to 3 texts from me a month if you join that line. Again, 314-370-2871. Just text any question about business or technology. I'll do my best to answer it in details and move on from there. So everybody that has joined my text line community, thank you very much. It's a lot of fun for me, and I like the comments, and I like the back and forth talk. So jumping right into the first topic of the day, student sponsorships. This is pretty cool stuff. If you've been following what's going on with the sponsorship deals for the students, historically college students, high school students weren't allowed to take any kind of sponsorship, but now they are. But the schools are starting to step in and make special deals with the students that they can't get too much because the schools have scholarship deals or sponsorship deals with Coke and Pepsi and all these different people. But when I was looking at it, it really got me thinking that, this, with social media influencing and these local, basically local celebrities for these sports teams for colleges, it seems to me like a great business opportunity for someone to start up a sponsorship website for these kids that they can go to, because this is great for local marketing, right? Local businesses should be able to sponsor college students in their hometown teams so that they're wearing their jerseys and sponsorships and making money that way. Great opportunity for the kids to make extra money. I know college is challenging, and I just love the way that we're moving into this. You don't have to have this normal full-time job anymore in today's world. There's all kinds of different opportunities that you can have, and I think we need to be educating our youth on that a lot more, right? When I was a kid, it was, get a full-time job or go to college and work there for your whole life and then get hopefully a pension or retirement. But today, van life is becoming more and more appealing, and it's not something that you're going to try to talk your kids out of necessarily. So I know that's what my 14-year-old daughter wants to do, and I'm like, go for it. But you should probably have some schooling and some kind of trade before you jump into van life. But anyway, the student scholarship stuff, I think it's kind of shady for the schools to be putting restrictions on their sponsorship deals. But also, I think at the same time, the opportunity for local sponsorship on some of these these college athletes is much better opportunity than the nationwide sponsorship as well. So maybe some of these small local mom and pop shops that are coming out of COVID have an opportunity to get their name out there on the back of a local college's jersey, or one of the local athletes really promoting their business on their social media, because theoretically they're going to be local in that community anyway. So going to stay on sports for just a minute. I'm not the hugest sports guy in the world by far. I'm definitely more in technology, but some new laws have passed. New York has made sports books legal, right? And a whole bunch of other cities, I think, have too, which is crazy. And so now they're all these guys, DraftKings, there's a page in here, the top 3 sports books, online sports books, right? Let's see where they're at. I can't find it now. Anyway, they're all fighting for this new bit of this new basically brick and mortar cash cow that's coming up, which is going to be, I think sports books are going to be legal nationwide in the next 5 to 10 years. And DraftKings, all these guys are going to pop up and make these really nice little social places that you can go, like in Vegas, and do your sports betting and things like that. The technology is, pretty wild. Hosterian comes from fantasy sports, right? Our very first client was a fantasy sports company back in the 90s, right? So fantasy sports is something I'm pretty familiar with on the server side, how to handle, hundreds of thousands of transactions at a time. But really cool stuff. NFL this year is banking on the sports books really helping them grow and get people back in the seats and watching the games, right? So we have a problem with people not wanting to go to stadiums. How are they going to monetize these sports venues and the athletes playing the game, and maybe through some of these other avenues like gambling might help the sport grow. Before they've been kind of, even NFL's been kind of standoffish on gambling before, right? They would not they had very few sports book commercials would allow to be ran during the games, and that has changed. They're letting more in this year. So that is pretty wild stuff. They are adopting the sports book. This one's a fun one. The Tesla bot, right? So Elon is making what looks like an iRobot, and we all know how that movie ended. But some of the cool stuff that he's doing, iRobot had a couple of rules. I forget what they were. Don't hurt people. Always save the people. Like there was these fundamental core values that the robots had, and Elon's making these robots a little. I mean, I don't think they're dumb, but he's designing them to do dangerous tasks and mundane tasks. So bomb retrieval, which I don't know why Elon. I think Boston Dynamics has these workhorse robots already made. They're pretty phenomenal. So this is going to be like a Rosie, right? I think from to the Jetsons is kind of the concept of what these Tesla bots are going to be. Hopefully you can plug them into your Tesla battery. But some of the technology that you put in it can't run faster than 5 miles an hour, right? So it can't outrun an average human being, right? Most people can get to 5 miles an hour. At least you can bump it with a car, right? So, yeah. But yeah, people are going to mod the shit out of these bots, right? They're going to take the governors off. There's a governor on there. I have no doubt about it. It can't lift over like 140 pounds, I think was the deadlift, and only straight out in front of you, maybe 15, 20 pounds. It was really small amount of weight. Pretty cool stuff. I like that these dangerous jobs. I remember when I was a kid, my dad was a baker, and for about 4 years he was in charge of cleaning the silos where they kept the flour. And I remember it being a very dangerous job, and a couple people passed away doing this job, but my dad didn't. And I remember being really worried. And this is my stepdad. If you've heard any of my other stories, I'm adopted by my stepdad. But he had to go and do this job. It was about a year and a half, and I remember being really worried about him being up in this silo because you're a couple hundred feet up in the air, and below you is just flour. And if you fall, then you're in flour and you're dead. But those are great jobs for robots, right? Hopefully that's where they end up, and they're not taking. They're going to take the burger flipping jobs. That career's over. Sorry, guys, if that's what you're doing. You're going to have to find something better to do with your time than flipping burgers, even if it's Uber driving or picking up groceries for people, which is a good living today, is what I understand. So the Tesla bot, pretty cool stuff. I'm excited to come out. They don't have a price tag on them yet, I don't think. But they're expected to come out next year, according to Musk. Yeah, he's got really, really crazy timelines on all of these things. But, come out. Does that mean 3 of them will be produced? I don't know. Right? Yeah. So, anyway, Musk at it again, keeping up the game, doing new stuff, creative stuff. I definitely, with all of the artificial intelligence and metaverse news coming out, I was not expecting a robot, a Rosie, to hit the market anytime soon. But, maybe Elon will go back to flamethrowers and get off of the robot bus. But he's way behind the game on Boston Dynamics. They've done such a good job over the past 10 years of growing that workhorse robot that just will do all kinds of stuff, right? But who knows? You give a robot opposable thumbs and see what happens. We don't know. The only thing I'm really worried about is I just don't want the robots being in charge of making the next round of robots if they have any kind of intelligence at all. They cannot have any intelligence and be in charge of making the robot. It's just they got to follow the directions completely. So anyway, the new normal, working from home, and what does that mean? And we're just going to go over a couple of ideas, some things that I've done during this pandemic to help me, and things that you can do. And this is, obviously it's going to be unique to every person, but you have to make a decision. Are you going to keep your office space or not? Am I going to grow my office space or shrink my office space? In one of my businesses, we grew our office space during the pandemic. So because we had a tenant move out of a building that we own, so we moved into that space. It's way too big for us right now, but we want to grow. So it became a great opportunity to, when one company left the space, for us to take it at a really, really great rate. So in my other business, I expanded too. So I was able to move down the road and get a new lease in a new space. With my old space was 3,000 square feet. I got 5,400 square feet now, and I pay about 10% of the rent for the first 2 years that I was paying at the other place. So it's a great opportunity to upgrade at a really great price in your real estate if that's what you need to do. It's also a great time to think about breaking contracts if you have to. Work with the leasor on trying to exit that contract gracefully if you can. But do what's best for your business. If it's time to shrink the office space and let more people work from home, the technology's come a long way. I don't think there's just more options now, and the technology's been there for a very long time with Zoom, Share Screen, ScreenLeap, all of these different tools, but they're starting to get more secure, and they're really starting to play the game right, and it's a good time to work from home. And it's just, but then for big companies, right, the IT challenge for large companies, CDW, it's a lot cheaper to manage 10,000 desktops in one building or in one office space. In those 10,000 desktops, you put them in 10,000 separate homes. It becomes a completely different challenge for hardware management. So I think the next several years, we're still going to see a push to remote desktops in the cloud, or cloud desktops, so people can just have lazy computers, Chromebooks or something like that at home. They don't have to have much processing power. They just get to connect to the cloud for the business and get the remote desktops and rock it that way. So I think that trend's going to keep going. Office space, I think, is going to continue to dwindle, and I think we're going to see some new and exciting retail stuff in the brick and mortar, because these brick and mortar guys, everybody's got a dream. They want to try to do something, and you can get really, really great aggressive rates on real estate, commercial real estate right now in the strip malls and things like that. So just keep your eye open, keep looking around, always be moving, don't stop, always be improving, right? And right now there's a whole lot of opportunity that you can take advantage of in your real estate, and that's either reducing your real estate or increasing your real estate if your business requires or needs real estate to do your job. This next one is really personal to me, and I think crypto is a big hobby of mine. I think I'm going to invest in some of this crypto here. But in Voxia, LongFi GPS tracking. So this is replacing, hopefully long-term going to replace the GPS satellites in the sky. And this is going off of the Helium network, which is a global network, and it's the Helium LongFi network, or HNT cryptocurrency. So if you have the app on your phone, or you have this device, and you drive past the wireless hotspot that has enabled the Helium network, or the Helium LongFi network, then it will ping that device, and it will give you your location, because everybody knows where that location is. And there's 300,000 units. They've got a map on their website that shows how good it is. So having the device will not earn you the cryptocurrency, but you can become a node on this network, and every time somebody pings your device, you get some cryptocurrency, right? So I think this is fantastic. I have a son who's nonverbal, who's a runaway kid, and we GPS him nonstop. It is a big challenge, right? And because he leaves school, and it's scary. And today's GPS, I hate to say this, but if you rely on GPS, it's a great way to find a dead body, right? It's slow. But at least you'll be able to find your person. Hopefully you can get to them before something really, really bad happens. But there's, a 3 to 5 minute delay in the GPS signal, and then another 30, 50 second delay, maybe 2 minute delay on the text message that you might get when they break that geofence. So cryptocurrency with really, really fast transaction times, the more we can build out this helium network, the better. And there's a million case studies or ideas on why you need GPS, right? Your dog, your wife's, her purse, in your car. There's just a ton of things that you can put these GPSs on and have different thresholds and spend what you want to spend based on how fast you want it, right? So Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 at school, I would have really, really aggressive ping times on my son. But late at night, he's in the house, he's safe. I would knock that down quite a bit. If you send your dog to the kennel, you might want to raise the amount of times it pings for GPS signal versus if he's just in the backyard and he's not a runaway dog. So I think the flexibility in your GPS tracking long term is going to be phenomenal, and this helium network is really trying to tackle that issue of GPS tracking. And I don't think the GPS satellites, I think there's 13 main GPS satellites, but I think there's like 60 total roughly. I forget. If you're a drone flyer, you know these numbers. I used to know these exactly because I flew my drone a lot until I kept crashing into rivers, and my wife said no more $1,000 drones that you're going to fly into rivers. But whenever you fly GPS drones, then the amount of the satellites that it can see pops up, and it's got that whole map in there. So it's really, really cool stuff. Moving on to our final topic of the day. This is a social media tip, but it's from an article from Insider, and this is the Kluger Agency. Adam Kluger, he said he wouldn't call himself a social media influencer. He's only got about 25,000 followers on Instagram, which is substantial, but it's not millions. But he represents people, or he works with people like Britney Spears and Lady Gaga, Lil Yachty, and stuff like that. So, he's working with and managing social media profiles for some giant celebrities, and he's doing a really great job at it. And his advice, one, is to really just reach out to your customer base or your follower base, and that's wildly important. So the first kind of tip that he gives is make sure that if somebody's commenting, comment back, really be personal on those comments, really talk to those people. But then the one tip that he gives that I really, really love is every single day reach out to 5 of your followers personally. Take 10 minutes, look at their profile, find something personal about them, and reach out to them and say hi. You will turn your followers into loyal fanatics if you do this. And I want to say I love this advice for social media, but this is also just basic business advice. If you have a company, you should be reaching out to 5 to, I don't know how many customers you have, right? At Hosterian, we've got a couple thousand customers. At my gym, we've got about 500. So reaching out to them frequently is going to be really, really beneficial to you and your business. At the gym that I own, I'm there almost every day, so I literally am shaking hands with those people and talking to them, and sometimes if I'm healthy enough, even boxing with them. But at Hosterian, I'll have to say I've failed at that quite a bit. And although because we're constantly talking to customers, but we're talking to customers that are in trouble. They call us and say, hey, I have this problem, we fixed the problem. But we're not doing a good enough job of reaching out to them. And I'm going to thank Alan Kruger here for reminding me of that. And if you're not reaching out to 5 of your followers on social media a day and 5 of your existing clients just to say hi and see how things are going, then you're missing the boat. And you can have a lot of opportunity there to grow your business if you just do those 2 things. Reach out to 5 of your social media followers and reach out to 5 of your existing clients just to say hi and relate to them. It's a huge benefit for you and your business, and you should get on it right away. Wrapping up for the day, again, if you want to join my text line community, 314-370-2871. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate it. Smash that like and subscribe button. If you like the content that I'm putting out, I sure enjoy my time here with you guys every single day. But if you're not enjoying it, I probably need to make some changes. And that's it for today, folks. Get to work.